Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from anywhere you're watching this video. So in this section, I'm going to be covering how to use Virtual Studio Code for your ALX projects. Okay, so I'll just go diving right to it. So all you just have to do is to go to your favorite browser, type of VSCode. Okay, so click on the very first link you have there. So you'll be prompted to a page where you have to download the Virtual Studio Code. Now, what is Virtual Studio Code? Okay, Virtual Studio Code is a text editor, quite alright, just like your Vim, Emacs, and the likes of them. Now, it has a feature that's what makes it more powerful than your regular virtual or your regular text editors that you know. Okay, and that feature is because it's an IDE. It is classed as an IDE. What is an IDE? Is an integrated development environment. It's not just a text editor. It's an environment where you can do a lot of things. You can test, you can write your code, and you can test your code at the same time. You know, other text editor, you're just writing code in it, you know, text editor, right? But VS Code is an IDE. That's integrated development environment where you can because you can test and write your code at the same time. Okay, because it has its own terminal integrated in the interface. You know, Virtual Studio Code is a graphical user interface. Now, the question will be, why is ALX stressing you where there is why is ALX stressing you with the use of what terminal? Okay, and also, okay, so fine. Before you learn anything, you need to go back to the foundation. Okay, you need to go to the origin, how it started, the origin of programming. Okay, like now the origin of programming language is what's the C language. Okay, that's why they have been taught to go through what C language before you diverse into other programming language that you have. Okay, that will give you an insight what programming language is. Just like they say, if you learn C programming language, you have it you'll find it very easy to learn other programming language. Okay, and now the way you right from time, the way you interact with your computers were built on on the command line interface. There was no graphical line interface like like where you just have to come here, create a file, move your file into here and stuff like that. What you have was just this terminal. It is with this terminal that you are able to interact with your shell, with your computer operating system. Okay, quite all right. And the terminal, then the only integrated text editors that you have in the terminal in the command line interface were Vim. That's if you Vim, Emacs, you have Nano as well, which is also a text editor implemented. You just have to do normal way to open up a file with any of those text editor in your command line interface in this terminal. All you just have to do is whether you are using Vim or VI. Vim is an improved version of VI. Okay, so whether you are using Vim, all you just have to do is Vim file name. It will open up the file for you. Or you are using Emacs, just Emacs file name. It will open up the file for you. Or you are using Nano, which is also integrated in the command line interface. Also a text editor. Nano file name. We have various of text editors as well. Okay, but now this is like the origin. Okay, you need to know how to interact with your shell with the command line interface. And the only text editors you can use if you are that's like the origin of anything called technology of the computer. Okay, before the GUI comes in, they started with what we call the command line interface. Okay, that's why ALX is walking you through this step, this origin. Okay, if you don't know the history they want you to familiarize yourself with the history. Okay, with the origin. Okay, that's it. So all you just have to do is to go to your favorite text editor, your favorite browser, and download whatever version that you have. If you are using Windows, you download free. This place will be prompted with Windows. I'm actually in my Linux operating system for this section, so that's why I'm having it as a Debian or Ubuntu or any type. We have different versions of Linux. Okay, different distribution of Linux. We have Arch, we have Kali, we have Debian, we have Ubuntu, but now I'm operating on the Ubuntu I'm using the Ubuntu. I'm working with the Ubuntu operating system. Okay, so with that said, so I already have this installed, downloaded and installed on my computer. All I have to do is just to open it up to show you few steps on how to do that. Let me just open a new window. So when you open up your Virtual Studio Code, this is what you get. Okay, this is what you get. Now the very first thing you need to do as far as ALX is concerned, okay, you are going to be doing your project on this interface. Okay, all you just have to do is firstly you need to synchronize your GitHub. Synchronize this Virtual Studio Code with your GitHub account. Now the reason why we want to synchronize this Virtual Studio Code with GitHub is because we want to be able to interact with our local server, which is this interface that we are right now, with our remote server, which is GitHub. We need to give permission, okay, to allow that flow cycle from here to there. Okay, all you just have to do is to come to this bottom left. Yeah, I believe this is left. Sorry. So this bottom left where you have accounts, I've already signed in. So let me just sign out for a moment. So sign out. Okay, successfully signed out. So you just have to go is to click on this account icon that you have on the bottom left. Okay, then click on, I thought I signed out before. What's happening? Sign out. Okay, don't worry about it. I'll just walk you through the step. Okay, I've signed out. So all you just have to do is to click on this sign in to synchronize the settings that you have on your Virtual Studio Code with one of these accounts. We have accounts with Microsoft. They support Microsoft. You know, this Virtual Studio Code was actually built by Microsoft. Okay, just sign in with what you want to do is to sign in with GitHub. Okay, it will prompt you to redirect it to your browser where you have, if you have already signed in, okay, because me I've signed in before, I want to sign in again. I don't need to set the authorization permission anymore. So, but if you're doing this for the first time, you'll be prompted with a page where you have to allow the permission. Okay, or you just have to click if you have your GitHub signed in or your browser. Okay, if you're already logged in on GitHub on your browser, you don't need to log in. It won't ask you to sign in again. But if that is the case, just follow the principle, just follow the process. I wish I could show you that. I wish I could uninstall and just show you from scratch, but I don't want to do that. It will take a very long time. So just allow it. If it asks for to ask you to log into your GitHub, then all you just have to do is to allow the permission. Okay, then open up. It will prompt this message that do you want to open up this is like the application. Okay, just open it up. It will be redirected back to your Virtual Studio Code. Then you'll be prompted with a message at this right corner, bottom right corner, that is what signing in. All you just have to do is click on account. You can see I have my username, which is Abiodun-2. That's my GitHub username, and I have it is already signed in. Okay, this is how you know that you're signed in. Okay, so that's it. Good, we're moving on. So after synchronizing your GitHub with this Virtual Studio Code, another important thing you need to do is since you're going to be running your project now should be on the C program language. Since you're going to be running the C program language on this, you need an extension. You actually don't really need the extension. Okay, you actually don't really need the extension. The extension is just is a code format, is a formatting for the extension for the C that is implemented in this Virtual Studio Code. It's just like a code format that will format your code, your program, any program that you write in a way that it is C compliance. It follows the C principles. Remember, we are not talking about Betty here. Betty is another thing, but there's a way. All you just have to do is to come down here, just look for the icon that matches extension, which is this guy that looks like a box with one of the square and get there. So all you just have to do is to click on this extension, then search for C/C++. Okay, it will bring out the list of everything that you have. I already have this installed. Okay, I think I have a very bad internet connection, so I have it installed already. You can see all you just need is actually the one you just need is this, but I went ahead and downloaded the extension pack. You will see the difference. Okay, you see two different ones. Okay, just make sure you pick the one by Microsoft. All right, the extension pack by Microsoft. Okay, there is what it's just the C development. It's just the C development in what in it's just an extension. Okay, you can see the list of extension that you have here. You have the C++, you have the sorry about this. You can just click on it and read more about what the extension is all about. So I don't want to bore you guys with all of that. And it also helps in debugging. Okay, this is the extension is very powerful. Like if you make a mistake in your program, you'll be prompted with a message that okay, this is kind of mistake you have. Before you even run the code at all, I will show you the reason why we need this extension. Okay, so that's about that. That's about that. After you downloaded the extension, now the main is how do I do my project? How do I write into how do I use this workspace? This is virtual studio is an environment. Okay, how do I use this? How do I bring my project down here? Okay, the answer is very simple. Okay, but as of now, I'm sure you must have downloaded git bash on your system. So I'm just going to show you where you can access the terminal inside this environment. Okay, this is at the top at the I think this is called the taskbar. So at the top of this you have what you call terminal. All you just have to do is to click on new terminal. You'll be prompted with a panel where you have the terminal, the debug, the output, and the likes of them. Okay, you have different this thing on that panel, but you want to go to there's actually a panel. You can open up the panel, but you want to open up the terminal itself. Okay, where you can interact with your computer, with your operating system. Okay, so all you just have to do is to click on terminal, or this is the shortcut Control Shift. What is this sign? Backsticks or backsticks, sorry, or that sign that looks like a wave tilde. Okay, or just press Control tilde. But if you're on Mac, let me just show you. If you're on Mac, just press Command tilde, or you press Control tilde. You'll be prompted with this panel. You can see I have terminal. This is debug console. That's if you don't need to worry about it. This is where you have problem. That's if you have a problem with your code or anything, you have this. Okay, this is where the error will be what will be prompted. But right now there's no problem detected in this workspace. Okay, so where you have to be is this terminal, so that you can interact with your operating system. So since I'm operating on Linux, I have my default shell. I have my default shell to be Z shell. That's ZSH. Okay, this is the activated shell on this virtual studio code. Okay, if you're using Windows, you'll be prompted. What you'll be seeing here is PowerShell by default. Okay, it will automatically integrate with the default shell, with your computer shell. Okay, so that you can interact with that shell on the terminal. All right, so you just have to do, since I won't advise you to use your default. If you're on Windows, I won't advise you to use that PowerShell. Or if you have if you click on this drop down menu, I have bash installed as well. So I will advise you to download and install bash or git bash. Okay, that will be very helpful, because there are some commands that you won't be able to execute inside the PowerShell. Okay, inside the terminal the PowerShell shop. There are some commands, since you're running, these are Linux commands. Okay, all these commands that we are using, they are Linux command. Okay, it can't be, you don't have Windows commands, but there are some commands that will actually run on your default or command prompt or the PowerShell, but there are some that won't. Okay, so I will advise you to download bash, so that you'll be able to use bash to interact with you'll be able to use the bash to interact with your operating system. Okay, so since I have bash, and most of you will be having a Windows operating system, so I'll just switch to bash. All you just have to do is to click on this drop down arrow and click on your favorite shell. Okay, so I'm going to be using bash for this. So you can see I have the prompt, the same prompt that where you open your when you have your terminal in this case. Okay, let me change this to bash. This is my default or Ubuntu terminal. So I'm just going to, I have bash installed, so I'll just navigate to bash. You can see when you open up your git bash, this is I'm actually inside documents right now, but this one is showing that I'm inside let me just take myself home. So you can see this is the prompt that you get. It's still the same prompt. That means you don't need to open git bash separately before you can and do. This is why Git, this virtual studio code is very powerful. You don't need to open your Git bash separately to be running your code, because your code can be run inside the same environment that you are. You don't need the help of. So I'm just going to close this tab now because I don't really need it. So close it. So this is all I need. I can list the content of my directory from here. I can navigate into any directory from here as well. Document. That's if I don't want to, sorry about this. If I don't want to, this is just me navigating inside. Sorry, this is just me using the terminal here. You can see I'm inside document. If I should list everything that is here, I will have everything that is here. I have about this, that, this, and this. Okay, this is just, you don't need it's just like the shell has been integrated. That's why they call it integrated development environment. Okay, that means you can integrate your shell, your computer operating system into the environment. Okay, that is said about that. So now you can see with the help of this, now you'll be able to clone your repo. You can as well use, but you don't want to do that. I would advise you to just follow this same process that I'm doing. You can as well clone your repo, you git bash, then come back here, but that's going to be a waste stress. Okay, you are going to be stressing yourself doing that. So all you just have to do is since you've already started your project, maybe from another environment, probably the sandbox or your local computer, your git bash, or you probably even, okay, let's say, okay, let me just assume that you've already, if you are working from the sandbox, okay, you know, the sandbox is a virtual environment. Okay, you don't have your projects locally saved on your your computer. All you just have to do is to go to your GitHub and come and clone your repo, and that is what I'm going to do here. But if you have been using git bash already, you don't have to clone your repo again. Just use this interface to navigate into where your project is. You can see I'm interacting it. So if you have your project saved under document, just navigate inside document. I have some projects saved inside ALX, just navigate inside ALX. Okay, if I should list this, you can see I have the ALX and just continue your project from there. Okay, and continue the video, but I will just skip the part that I have to explain how you can clone your repo if you don't have it already on your computer operating system, yeah, on your computer, on your local computer. Okay, that's it. So I'm just going to, sorry about this. So I'm just going to cd, just to take me to my user home directory. So if you're working on your sandbox and you push your project to GitHub, that's the only way your checker can run. So all you just have to go is to go back to GitHub. So I'm just going to, I think I have this thing here. Okay, so I just have to go to GitHub. Go to your GitHub account, navigate to your repository. That's the repository that you want to clone, you want to work with. For your own case, your repository will be ALX low level programming, but I already have this here, so I'm just going to work with this ALX PLD. Just go inside navigate inside the repo that you want to work with on your Virtual Studio Code, and copy the URL path. That's the HTTP address to your repository. Then go back to your Virtual Studio Code. Inside this terminal that is already open, just run git clone, then followed by you copied. That's the HTTP address. Now the question that will be running through your mind right now will be, are we going to clone with our personal access token? Okay, the answer is yes, the answer is no. Okay, you don't have to. Okay, you don't have to come to navigate to the back of GitHub and put your personal access token here and put at. Okay, now the reason, that's why we've already synchronized, we've already set the permission for it, we've already synchronized our Virtual Studio Code with GitHub. So we don't need to do this, we don't need to clone with personal access token, because you cloning with your personal access token is you setting authenticating that you are the owner of this repository. Okay, you are the owner of this repository, but you've already synchronized your GitHub. That means you are actually the owner. Okay, anybody that is working, anybody that cloned this, it will automatically sense that, okay, Okay, this is the person actually working with from the what from the synchronization we did. Okay, so you don't have to clone with your personal access token. Now I'm going to do something. Okay, before I go on, I will advise just to be organized. I'm going to get rid of this for a minute. We're going to come back to cloning. Just to be organized, I will advise that you navigate into a directory under your home user home directory, or you can create you can first create a directory here that will house everything that will house all ALX projects, all ALX repository here, just to be organized. Okay, you can't have all your projects or all your repositories scattering around in your what in your home directory. Okay, mine is not even clean enough. I'm going to do some cleaning up. Okay, all I just want to have is the default directories that came with computer, like this desktop is default. You have document default, download default, music, pictures, public, and videos. I'm going to do some kind of cleaning up with this. I don't want to have all this thing messing around inside my user home directory. Okay, so all you just have to do is to navigate into somewhere. So I want to navigate to my documents. That's where I want to save all everything that has to do with ALX. If I should list what it, you can see I have a directory called this. I have a directory called ALX, and this is Betty directory. Okay, I already installed, downloaded and installed Betty. Okay, there's a video section for that. Okay, then I have this directory. You can see how organized it is. There are so many. I'm working on a project. I'm working on some projects currently. This is where my personal projects have been saved. You can see, just to be organized. Okay, so I just want to everything to concerning ALX should be saved inside this what ALX or directory. Okay, if I should list what is here already, you can see I have everything I've done so far in what's in ALX. This is Code Tribe, this is a group I belong to, this is where we send everything, and this is practice, that's my own. If I want to practice anything concerning with ALX, and I've done some various, you can see how organized it is. So this is where I want to clone that repo that I copied. So let me just play my terminal for a minute so you can run your git clone, then paste the oh shit, sorry about this. I already ran a command before. I didn't want the command to paste. So paste on your terminal on your git bash is Ctrl+Shift+B. Okay, that's if you're, or just for if you're on Windows, it will be Shift Insert. Okay, or better still, just right click and what you see the paste option here. You can see the command on my Ubuntu. For this one is what Ctrl+Shift+V rather. Okay, all you just have to do is to press enter, and it's going to take a while depending on your internet connection. If you don't have internet, this thing is not going to clone. So you can see I have it cloned here. If I should list everything that is here, I should have the ALX PLD. So the next thing we want to do is to navigate inside that inside the repo, because that's the repo we want to be working on. So how do you use this? Just like the normal way that you open up a file with any text editor that you like. But if you're working inside Virtual Studio Code, you don't open up. You can open up a file with it, but since you are working inside your repository, I will advise that you set up a workspace. If just open up that repo that you want to work on. Okay, if you're opening the repo, that means you are setting up a workspace, an environment where you can work inside, where you have everything you'll be directly inside, working inside your repository. You can create any directory there. You can navigate, you can write into any text there. I'm going to show you. So all you just have to do is to write code, the command to open anything. This directory is code, then followed by dot. Since we already navigated into the directory, into our ALX or PLD repository, all you just have to do is to code, then followed by dot. You know what dot means already. Okay, if you don't know, if you're not aware, dot means current working directory. Okay, this command simply says I want to open up this current working directory with Virtual Studio Code. Code is the short name for it. Code is the command for it. Just like VI, VI file name, any file that you want to open with VI, Emacs, any file that you want to open with Emacs, and the likes of them. And this is the command to open up this directory with this directory with Virtual Studio Code. Just code dots. Okay, after navigating into the repo that you want to work with, this will open up another workspace, a new workspace. You can see I have a new workspace concerning from this is a different workspace from this workspace that I open up, just like we open up VI with inside your terminal, it will direct you to another interface. where you have to what to write everything it is. Okay, since I want to open up to this with, I open up a directory, so it's now set up this my repository with what in a workspace. This is a new workspace environment, so I have everything concerning everything inside this repository here. So now all I have to do is to just click on any file that I want to write into, or if I don't have a file yet, probably, okay, you want to continue working on your project. Let me just assume I don't have a file here. I want to do a simple task. All I have to do is to press Control tilde to open up my terminal. I'm inside my terminal right now. Okay, this is how the prompt for ZSH. I'm just going to change this thing back to bash so that we'll be working line in case you are using on Windows. So in case you want to change the view of this, I don't always work with this terminal at the bottom. I always like it to be on the right. So you can just press Ctrl Shift P. Sorry, that's the wrong command. So Ctrl Shift P, P for panel, okay, or P for plate or pan or anything. So Ctrl Shift P. All you just have to do is to type or move panel, or if you've forgotten that it's Ctrl Shift P, another shortcut is just to press what F2 on your keyboard. Okay, it will prompt up this search. So just search for move panel to the right. Okay, you can see sorry about that, F2. I'm just going to do that again. So move panel right, this is it. So you can move panel left, you can, okay, by default it is at the bottom, you can move it to the left, but I always like it to the right. Okay, this is it here, I have it here. Awesome. So the next thing now, so you can see the prompt shows that what I'm already inside my ALX repo. If I should list everything that is there, you can see it is exactly what is there. Okay, let me just take this back a little bit. Okay, let me do this. Okay, all right, so if I should list all the content here, you can see I have what everything that is there. I have add.c. You can see this is what an adding file, that's why it's not showing here. But if I should list this content with along with the what adding file with the flag A, you can see I have what this dot, okay, dot git won't show, is not showing here. You can see the what, where is the, okay, this is the dot git ignore. All right, good, awesome. So that is that. So you can just, let's say you probably want to start working with a different file entirely. Hold on, just give me a sec. I just want to see how long this video is right now. Okay, 20. I don't want this video to be too long, extremely long. Okay, so if you want to work with a new file entirely, all you just have to do is to use your normal command that you know. Okay, that's touch the name of the file. Let's call the file, okay, I have some file here. Okay, let's call the file lesson.c. Okay, you can see the lesson has been generated here. Let's say that's the tags that you were asked to create. You were asked to create this file and write something, a program inside it, a program that prints hello world to the console. Okay, so all I have to do is to click on this file and start typing. Okay, click on the file and start typing. Okay, so I want to, the first thing, since I'm going to be printing, the first thing I want to do is to include my header file. So include, now you can see, okay, you can see after typing hash, if I type I, you can see it brought out different options. And now this option that it brought out, it was with the help of this extension that I asked it to install. That's the prerequisite. You need to install the extension so that this text editor, this Virtual Studio Code, will recognize that, okay, this is actually a C file. I have this. You can download other extensions that is going to help you display the icon, the file icon or directory icon. Okay, that's with the help of another extension. So you can see after typing, okay, after typing hash, okay, then you can see it brought out list of suggestions. Okay, these are list of suggestions. Okay, that means okay, Virtual Studio Code is always watching every step. If you have that extension there, it's always watching every step that you are taking. Okay, it's always watching you. Okay, do you mean to write, okay, do you want to write if, do you want to write if def, do you want to write if ndef, or do you want to write include? Okay, this is actually part of the suggestion. Okay, I'm just going to type this and just press enter. Now this you already recognize that you want to actually type header file. So I'm just going to type this. You can see it brought out the options of every possible header file that is that is what on my computer operating system. Now when you download and install if you're okay, another prerequisite for this, if you want to text your code, you need the help of the GCC compiler. I'm sure you must have already downloaded that. If I have a video on it, you can just refer back to that video. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that. When you download the compiler called GCC, it comes with all these standard libraries. You have so many standard libraries. You have standard input and output, you have standard lib, you have standard ALX, that's standard args.h, you have for string, you have for boolean, you have for so many of them like that. Okay, but the one I want to use here is what you can see. I have so many of them. Is because what this DGC comes with all these libraries as what packages. Okay, standard IO dot, you can see I have it as a file. You can see the type what is a file, okay, on my computer operating system. Okay, also, so I want this thing to be what Betty compliance. Okay, just make sure you follow Betty rule. Now I'm going to tell you something else. I'm going to show you something else. I've already done that setting. So this is going to be my main function. Okay, you already know how to write or Betty. This is going to be program that prints strings, or let me just say that prints to the standard output. Okay, awesome. So the next thing, since I'm not going to be taking parameter, I know that. Okay, since my function will be like, okay, let me just do something about that. Okay, I'm just going to terminate this string for now. This comment for now. So since I'm going to be having int main, okay, you can see when I wanted to type int, you already signified that. Okay, you can see both are different options of this. You just bring a suggestion, but this is actually the one. This is a C keyword. Okay, int main. Okay, then this I want to pass in void. Betty will also always complain. Okay, you need to pass in void as if there's no parameter inside the function. Okay, this is what I want to have. I want to declare, and I want to also have it to return a value. So I'm just going to come back here and write what return, since it's an integer data type, return 0. Okay, you can just write, or anything you write here doesn't really matter. Okay, so now this is why our virtual pseudocode is very, very, very powerful. When you want to type, you have to open a parenthesis after the function name. When you open it, automatically formats that and attach the closing to it. When I open, I think I know how to press the closing one. So that means I have to type my void inside it. When you open the curly braces to it, automatically attach the closing to it. It already sends that, okay, you have to close this thing. Anything you open with, when it's any bracket, any type of bracket that you open, you always attach the closing tag to it. Okay, so I want to write a simple function that is going to print. You can see it's already recognized as okay, print f. That's what I want to write. Print f. What do I want to write? You can see it brought up the meaning. That this is with the help of the extension. What is printf? Okay, but printf is a function that is used to write formatted output to the standard output. Okay, so I want to pass in a string called what? They asked me to write hello world. Probably I'm going to write this, then followed by a new line. I'm sure you already have this. You must end your statement with a semicolon. Okay, semicolon means the end of statement. So I want to have a return value of 0. Okay, this is the function. You can see I've made this thing Betty compliance. Now there's something I want to tell you. Okay, by default your indentation, okay, let me just change this again. Okay, by default what you'll be seeing here is spaces. That means it is indenting spaces by 4. Okay, anytime you press tab, it's going to indent it for you with spaces by default. Okay, it's just like Emacs as well. By default it's only VI that I know of that is going to indent this, is going to set the indentation with tab by default. So anytime you hit tab, is going to, you can see Okay, with your own mindset, all you just have to do is probably you just have to, this is probably you just come here. Okay, you've done the necessary thing, you press tab here and the likes of it. If you want betting on this, it's going to throw an error because the default indentation of this is what is with what spaces. That's what you have here. Let me just show you what it is. And also Betty, also there's one thing that you guys don't probably you guys didn't get at that error. For those using VI, Betty also wants your code to end. You should end your file, your program, with what, a new line. But if you are using VI or Vim, the case may be, by default is going to end the file with what, a new line. But if I'm using Emacs or Virtual Studio Code, you can see I stopped my code at line 12. I did not stop with a new line. This is what a new line means. That means I should have a blank line. You can say, let me just remove that for a minute. I'm just run Betty real quick on this. I'm not supposed to be talking about Betty here, but I just want you guys to, in case you on the go, you can see it shows warning at what, line 9, line 11, line 12. Okay, the warning at line 9 is what, no spaces at the start of the line. But you put, it was tab you kept here now, not spaces. That is because what, it is indenting with what, spaces, not tab. You need to change that one. This is by default. I'm going to show you how to change that. Now the same thing as what, at line 11. Now at line 12 is saying that what, adding a line without new line at the end of file. That means your file should end with what, new line. That's what this is. But that new line is automatically set by default inside the VI. Okay, that's just that. So in order for you to do this, just go to this guy, come here, this manage that you have here, click on manage at the bottom left, this icon that looks like setting. Okay, so just click on what, settings, then type what, indentation inside the word, the search box, indentation, then click on what, editor, that's tab size. That's what you want to actually do. Okay, when you click on that, it will take you to this guy. You see this guy called what, insert spaces. Okay, by default on your, by default this will be what, selected by default. All you want to do is to what, unselect it. Okay, once you've done that, that means what is going to what, by default is going to insert spaces while when pressing what, tab. But that's not what you want to what, just what, deselect it, then close your, then save the file, then save that settings and what, close it. Now I'm using another function. I'm using another function to what, to another setting to help me to auto save this file. I do not talk about saving your file before you run your test. You know, definitely you have to save and what, creating out of Emacs for that if you're working in the terminal. So I'm using a setting called what, auto save, toggle auto save. It's going to automatically what, save the anything I'm doing as soon as I'm doing it. Okay, if I'm writing into a file, if I'm changing some settings, it's going to help me to auto save that settings. Okay, you can see I've already highlighted this. I'm going to show you, close this. This one, you can see I do not talk about anything about saving. You can see after doing that, because I changed these settings, you can just come here and what, convert what, this thing will be changed to what, tab size. Okay, let me just run that setting again and see what I'm showing you. Settings, indentation. Okay, quick, edit tab size. Let me just select this for a minute. Let me close this. You can see this thing, this is supposed to change to, okay, because what, the indentation has been, but don't worry about it. Just make sure that what, I've already what, changed it inside the file already. But let me just do this back, or probably let me just show you what I mean. Okay, let me just show you what I mean. By default, I've already changed this setting. Let me create a new file. Okay, probably let me just call it what, test. Oh, don't worry, just make sure that you go to these settings. I don't want to waste too much of our time, and we'll go to indentation, right, and click on what, editor, tab size, and what, deselect this one. By default it's going to, oh sorry, this is not what you want to do. What did I click on? Editor, tab size. You can see, just select this one that is on top of it. You can actually ask it to indent. This is the size. Okay, do you want to indent with 4 spaces or 8 spaces or the likes of them? Is your choice. Just make sure that what, this one is what, deselected. After doing that, you notice that this thing has changed to tab size. Okay, that has been fixed. So the next thing I want to introduce you about, okay, I talked about this autosave. Just press your F2 again, sorry, just press, what is your problem, man? Just press Ctrl Shift P, Ctrl Shift P, Ctrl Shift P. Now you have to make sure that even though you press any other thing, just make sure that this angle brackets that looks like greater sign, angle close bracket, this greater than sign, just type for what? Auto save. You can see I have this file here, this settings called toggle auto save. All you just have to do is to click on it. Now you just have to do this once. It's going to what? Set it globally. It's going to do auto save on any file that you create from now on. The moment you just have to do it once. You don't have to do it every time you create a new file or every time you open up your Virtual Studio Code. And again, all you just have to do is to do this once. Once you've done this one, you don't have to worry about going back there to what to do the auto saving. Okay, so that is that. If I should run Betty on this again, since I've already changed the tab size, the tabbing, the indentation to tab, I've already added what they have to add. You can see Betty is not going to complain again. But if you don't do that, the default indentation with by tab is good. Betty will always complain. Okay, I have Betty installed here. I showed you how to, but the issue is if you are doing this on your Windows, you know you cannot install Betty on Windows. Okay, but this is just to help you in case you want to practice, or you can just, in case you want to practice on locally on your computer, in case you want to just run some program, test your program and the likes of them. This one now I'm going to compile this file. That's what GGC dash sorry, I'm going to GGC, what's the file I want to compile, which is what? Lesson.c. I'm going to send the output to what? To lesson, and see whether I'm going to get, okay. If I should list what is here, I have the compilation here. You can also check here. You can see I have this lesson. This U that you have here, that means what? These files I just created, these ones, they are on track files. Okay, they are on track of files. That means they've not been added, you've not committed, and yeah, they've not had and committed. Okay, there are changes that you made that has not been changed. That's why that has not been staged or added. That's why you have U here. Okay, you have lesson there. I'm going to execute lesson. So you can see I have my what? Hello world. Good, awesome. My program is running. So all I have to do is what? Push to GitHub to for the checker to grade my the tasks I'm currently doing. So the next thing now is to what? Git add. What's the file I want to add? Lesson.c. Or let me just, since I have multiple, but it's only lesson, I can just git add dots, which means add everything that is in this current directory. Okay, you can see when I added this, U changed to what? A. That means what? These files have been what? Added. You know, previously it was U. This is how you know that what your files have not been. This is how powerful this Virtual Studio Code is. You can tell the files that you've not added, that you've not committed yet from here. Okay, the next thing you want to do now is to what? Git commit with a message. What's the message that you want to pass to this? Probably hello, let me just call it what? Hello world. You can see after you've committed, that A will just disappear. That means what? You've taken a snapshot of your project. That's what commit is. You're taking a snapshot. That means in case you want to reference back to what you did before. So let me just clear my terminal, Control L, or you type what? Clear. Okay, clear, or Control L works. Okay, whichever one works for you. So I prefer to use the Control L. It's just a shortcut to what? To clear your terminal. Okay, so now the next thing after committing is to what? Push to GitHub, so that your checker will run checks on your program that you just written. So all you just have to do is to git push. Now this is where the fun part comes in. You know, we do not clone with our personal access token. How then is this guy able to push without asking for password? He's not going to ask for password, but he's going to pop up something that he wants it to allow. That means to what? To authorize you to be able to push. All you just have to do is to click on allowed. Since it's going to redirect you back to your browser for you to authenticate that permission. Okay, then all you just have to do is to open this guy, then it will redirect you back to your to your Virtual Studio Code. Then it's going to push the file for you. This is what you see when you push normally. You can see it is pushing, it has been what, enumerating, blah 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 blah. This is what you get. There was no any sign of error here. You can see it connected to the remote server and was pushed what you have there. Let me just go to my GitHub real quick and see whether my changes have been pushed. I need to refresh this. Okay, let me just reload this page. I should be seeing lesson.c and what's lesson. Okay, this is it, and this is the commit message that I passed to it. Hello world. You can see there are two files that I changed, that I added. You can see 2 minutes ago. Awesome. So this is just a brief intro how you use Virtual Studio Code to do your project. Remember again, the Betty I ran on this board, because what I'm running on the Linux operating system, I'm able to install Betty. But if you're working on the Windows operating system, just make sure that you do the right thing. Make sure that you change the default setting to what, unless if you push your code like that, just change the default settings to indent by tab. Okay, if you push like that, your checker is going to mark you wrong. So the only issue you'll be having now is whether your code runs, whether your code compile, or you follow the right principle, or you just follow the requirement given to you. So what that is said, that is okay. That is all I have for you on today's section. So thank you all very much. If you have a question, feel free to reach out to me on WhatsApp. You have my number. So I'm just going to type my number real quick here, and let me see where I can type my number so that you can see. So okay, I'm just going to use this terminal. Okay, my number is 070. Let me just do this. So my number is 07050325693. Okay, and my name is sorry about that. My name on the, if you're on the WhatsApp group that I am, you should already know who I am already, so I don't need to introduce myself again. My name is Abiodun Shitu, aka DLK Gafar. Okay, so thank you very much for watching this. So I hope you guys understand and were able to execute everything I said, comprehend everything I said rather. So if you have any question, feel free to reach to me on this. At this point, I'm going to say you guys do have a wonderful time and enjoy doing hard things. Okay, enjoy doing hard things. All right, I can't find enjoy doing hard things, so I'm just going to 48 minutes. Okay, that's fair enough. So thank you. Bye for now.